Cool. All right, guys. Well, it is July 10th, 2024. And of course, there's only one of these awesome days that exists. So let's make the most out of this particular day by wrapping up kind of in our evening on the AK roundtable and making sure that we're going through things to hopefully draw out some golden nuggets and walk away with some value and apply that to our business. Test it, try it. You know, these meetings are designed to try and bring things out that you guys can actually practice and try and work with, right? And maybe not once, maybe try it more than once, but there's some great opportunities. And I know a lot of you have been through coaching, you've been through some training, you've gone through some things that maybe open up your perspective a little bit and your peripheral vision to grow. And that's really what the whole goal is here is to grow, sharpen your spears, and continue to get better at what it is that we do, not just in business, but in life as well. So it's good to have everyone on here. I'm excited to kick this thing off. Down at the very bottom, you've got your chat window, of course, that you can go ahead and chat with anybody independently, or you can chat with a group of people, everyone right on here. And then you've also got your reactions down at the bottom that you can use. Put your hand up, throw it some thumbs up or whatever you desire. And we try to make this meeting as engaging as we possibly can. So please, please, please don't just, don't just sit there with a question that you really want to ask and you sit there and you let it pass by, because there's a lot of great minds on here, a lot of great people with lots of experience. And so getting the most out of that's really, really important. This meeting, there's no cost to be here. It's an investment of all of our time so that we can make the most out of it. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off. But before we do, I know that Billy Ammons has to kick us off with the quick blood pumping moment where we're going to spike up the energy, right, Billy?
Yes, sir. All
right, man.
So stand up. Let me adjust this. All right. We're going to do 10 pumps to the left and then 10 to the right. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now we're going to lift 10,000 pounds of asphalt seal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There.
Thanks,
we got the blood pumping.
Got the blood pumping. Get this meeting kicked off properly, right? Let's do this thing. Cool. Well, we're going to dig into this. So let's start out, how we do this with the energy, right? Success attracts success. We say that all the time. It's certainly something that raise your hand if you love surrounding yourself with people that drive your mindset to a place that's maybe a little bit larger from where you are right now. Like, don't you love that? I love surrounding myself with people like that. It really, really helps me to explore the opportunities that truly exist that could be out there. When you're alone in a room, like right now, I'm back at my place in Anguilla and our villa is rented and I'm in one of the hotel rooms at our property right now. And, I can do some really good thinking time alone. I'm able to do that. I think we can all do that, right? If you guys push your phone to the side and you do some good thinking time and you have a notepad, that's some pretty cool stuff that you can do. But man, oh man, when I take down those notes and I do that thinking time, I want to have other superstars like kind of reviewing what it is that I was thinking about from a note perspective to see whether or not there's an opportunity to do something beyond what I may have just thought about on a piece of paper. And so what I ask you guys all to do is, evaluate your circles. Who do you hang out with? Who are the people that you invest time with versus spend time with? The two different things, right? Investing time and spending time. So just, I ask you define and really understand your true circle of people that you kind of share your ideas, your concepts, that you brainstorm, that you dream with. Who is that circle? And are you maintaining that circle as well, right? Relationships are maintenance. It takes time and energy to go into those relationships, whether they're your spouse, whether they're your children, whether they're business, whether they're friendships, they all require time. And so evaluate that circle. Who here has a circle that they are able to actually connect with to get, high level perspective and to be able to drive you potentially to a place that's bigger than where you are right now? Who has that circle? Yeah. I think that everybody can raise their hand because that's actually why the AK Roundtable is here. And so I want to make this really engaging, right? Like, I think we all have to make this a really engaging meeting to get the most out of it. And we usually do. But tonight, I really want to carve into something that's maybe a little bit more in depth relating to, like, let's talk a little deeper. Let's ask some real good questions. Let's talk about the pain in our business. Let's talk about the excitement in our business. Let's talk about things that are deeper than just kind of that surface conversation. So if you guys are down with that, raise your hand if you're down with that, honestly. Cool. Let's make this interactive. Kick it off with a win. Someone hop on with a win, and then let's flow. Let's just have a cool conversation. It's the AK Roundtable, man. We're all sitting at a wood table behind a big wood door inside of the kingdom, and we're here. For those of you that drink a cold beer, grab a cold beer. For those of you that drink water, drink a juice. I don't care what it is, smoke a cigar, but we're all sitting at a table as a group of people that desire something that's maybe beyond where we are right now. I think that's why we're all here. Let's dig. Let's get deep. All right, win, Julia, let's go. You're muted. Click that microphone button in the bottom left. There you go.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
And it's all the great minds that comes on this platform every Wednesday. My win, and I am still climbing the ladder. June 18th, I visit Asphalt Kingdom and receive some really good values. And not only just that, I receive motivation and learn how to work with all the machines that was offered to me that little time of that day. Skylar, Dome, and the crew gave me some valuable information. I've learned a lot. They was very welcoming towards me during my time there. And it was like, I must continue this value that I received. And living here in Chicago is a little bit different from where you all are. I am currently working on I have my DBE certification, which allowed me to be on contracts with the state. Also, I am working on my WBE, Women's Business Enterprise and Minority Business Enterprise certifications. And just being there in Philadelphia with you, Skylar and Dawn, and it's just gave me the Popeye strength to keep moving and you know, focus on everything that I started with you all. The last few Wednesdays that I missed, I'm like, hey, I can't get with my Asphalt Kingdom. It was the holiday weekend last week. And the week before that, I know something was going on. But it's like a must for me to get on Asphalt Kingdom Roundtable to continue the motivation the most when I'm constantly thinking to win. So that is my winning. And every time I'm here on the platform is a winning for me. And the high level expectation comes from this platform. And I want to thank you all for sharing what you all have been doing, your ideas. And I'm just letting you know that I'm gonna keep it moving, and eventually I will be sharing a contract and a job that have landed in my hands. So I'm here. I'm gonna stick it in, I'm gonna weigh it in, and I want to continue to receive all the blessings that I hear here on the platform.
I think if there's one thing to add, each and every single one of you on this screen, guys, she's a natural. She could probably lay it down for her first time better than some of you guys have been in the industry 10 years. It was literally like, I was like, are you playing with me right now? Like, instantly grab the wand. She's spraying. She's trimboarding better than our guys inside the company. Like, I'm like, what is happening right now? This is just not natural.
Thank you. Thank you.
See,
Thank you.
Julia
You had a lot of fun.
Julia and I have a huge surprise that we haven't shared with the whole round table. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally joking. You're on candid camera, Skylar, the whole thing.
Dude, it was almost suspicious to the point of like, she's like, yeah, I haven't done this before, picks it up, just going, and I'm like what? Like you
Julia, I saw, so I was on video, live video with Skylar while you were spraying with Dom. You were spraying the seal coat, like laying it down. And I'm looking and I'm like, in my head, I thought you had already been there for like 2 days or something. Look, and I knew you were, but it looked like you had 2 days of consistent training applying sealer. The way that you were laying it down and the way you were overlapping and the whole height of the wand, like everything was perfect. And then another photo of you, I think were you on a stripe? You were striping. Yeah, I saw a video of you striping a ride on. And how cool is that?
And it was just watching the guys doing what they're doing. And I'm an on-hands person. I learned quicker that way. And it was like, the gas is phenomenal. I'm not gonna. I've seen like a mistake that they caught, and I need to see that. So if that happened with me when I'm out in the field, I could say, okay, I can remember me seeing this being done, and I enjoy working with the team just that little bit of time, and they take their job serious. They work as a team. Everyone gets along. It feels like fun while we're working safely. Every little thing that Skylar and Dom would think of to share with me, it was like, okay, just know this and just know that. And I'm just taking it in like, look, take all what you can while you're here. It was, already a little bit a struggle getting there during the time. But when I got there, I was ready to go. I was ready to get on hands and touch everything that was part of the project that was going on out there.
You know what I find really, really awesome is when you have a group of passionate people that get around each other, that are finding every reason why you can do something versus using the I won'ts, I can'ts, I don'ts, I shouldn't, and complaining about things, but rather finding solutions together and being passionate and driving that energy. You know what happens on the other side of that? Inevitable success. And it's not just financial. It's happiness, it's excitement, it's motivation, it's culture. The money all gets attracted to that. It's just the way it's the law of attraction. It's the way the universe works. And that's who I desire to be around. Like on this round table, guys, I want to be around you guys excited and powering up and speaking about things that are raw and real, things that you're scared of that we can help to build strength and like to power forward. And so I have a question for you, Julia. What is your biggest hurdle that you have right now? What is something that might be holding you back a little bit right now in business?
Right now, it's just being able to reach out to these entities and knowing how to bid. But I have faith in reaching out to Skylar because he's very attentive when I reach out to him and to ask him, where do I go from here? This is a start. And being able to have my certifications, it's like unlimited of bidding on contracts within the local, the state, and the private level. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm ready to step out there in faith. But that's really it. Maybe workers. So that and just understand the process. I know you all able to assist me on that, but that's just pretty it. Just going out there and grab these contracts and have fun doing it. So I can have some good things to say like the rest of our team here on Asphalt Kingdom. I'm ready to share some things. Cause say I made some money. So my hurdle.
It's fun to make money.
Yes. And make my customers happy. I know that's important because they look forward to work with someone who puts everything into what they're doing, you know, and I want to be that person also. So
Nice.
that's my hurdle as far as getting somewhere with things. And I have a little support system through IDOT. I'm about to get started with City of Chicago. And it's just keeping my eye on the prize, and that's what I'm doing. I had to learn that at first.
You know, it's interesting, right? As we're navigating life, we're going through this journey in general, like, you know, life, we've got our personal stuff, our family stuff, we've got business, and we're navigating this path. And it's like understanding the challenges, like the true challenge that we're faced with is so important to be able to actually take some time to note it. And the things that are really super exciting that we're rocking with, that we're winning with, to note that as well. Like to actually be able to lay that out so that you have something in front of you that's not just in your mind and goes to mush because of all the thoughts that we end up having go through our mind, but instead to actually challenge the challenge that we have and to overcome that by really working on some solution patterns that make sense to overcome it. And I'll tell you, you're not alone. We've all got challenges. And at the end of the day, it's like, let's just identify what they are and let's make sure we're surrounding ourselves with the right people so that we can overcome them. And it becomes a lot more fun when you're tackling a challenge with a team of superstars that love to be there challenging it with you. It's really special. And I'm glad to be challenging that stuff with all of you guys. Julia, crush it. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Mr. Phillips, what's happening? You're muted, brother.
I was going to follow up on Julia's comment there. When you are doing this, so I mean, the money is great. When I'm working and we're making money, it's great. But when I take a driveway or a parking lot and transform it into something that looks new again, the pride that I get from that is amazing. And I was mentioning just before the start of this that I got a call this morning from a customer that we've done her driveway in 2016, 2020, 2022, and now she wants it done again. So that building that clientele and that base, I mean, I have hundreds of clients that we do work for them every other 2 to 3 years. And so that means something. And so if you can work your business to where you become that go-to person, quality work, quality, respect for their property, don't step in seal coat and step on the curb. I mean, just stuff like that. Just be that person and you'll be here. I mean, it's just amazing. So, I mean, that's what I wanted to follow up with. But
Thank you, Matt. Well taken.
And Judd, when you get to the Q&A answer questions, anybody that has any like, hey, what should I do? Or this is hard or this or whatever, chances are I've experienced it and I'm willing to share my experience and knowledge to work through things. So
Who here is willing to actually contribute no matter where you are in the process? Raise your hand if you're willing to contribute to this roundtable. All right, beautiful, cool. Let's carve into it. I think it's perfect timing, Matt. It's a great segue into challenges. And I don't want it to only be for all of the people that are on here from a business ownership perspective. If there's team members that are a part of the team and the culture of these organizations, including mine, I just want to make sure that this is open board for anyone on here, right? And so Team AK on our side, with our whole team that's on here right now, you guys don't be shy, right? Like, this is why we're here. So let's talk, because I'll tell you, like, just to throw this at the board, our team at AK, our sales team, we're hitting, you know, upwards of 300 communications a day with people like you guys. That's a day. So if you think about that times 5 days a week, I think we can do the math pretty quickly that there's about 6,000 communications a month. And so if you have some questions about the industry, about economic times, if you have questions about things that people seem to be interested in, please don't hesitate and ask these kind of questions, because this is a board filled with all kinds of information and experience, and that's designed to help us become sharper at what it is that we're doing, continue to grow. So feel free to open this up. I'll instigate it with, you know, put your hand up and there we go. Let's go. Chad Keeping, what's happening, brother? Come off mute. Let's do it.
Hey Judd, how you doing?
Awesome. Thank you. Hope you're well.
I've been a little discouraged the last little while. I ended up getting laid off from my full-time job. So that pushed me to push a little harder into the business aspect of sealing and crack filling. But I've been in a slump for the last 4 weeks, no business. But I lost both Facebook platforms, my personal and my business. All I have is Instagram right now. So what can I do? Like, I'm limited to social media right now for 180 days.
I mean, couple things, and let's just open this thing up, but a couple things, you know, that there's some questions around why you're not on there would be something that I would ask, is why did they suspend you? But I don't want to rabbit too deep on that. What I will say is this: a slump in any business is very, very normal. It's very, very normal to go through a slump. But what I will say is this: if you right now, so Chad, stand up straight for a sec, like away from the, are you on your phone or your computer?
Phone.
So I want you to imagine that on this phone in the middle of your screen is a bullseye. And that bullseye has a revenue number in it. It has a dollar amount that's inside of that bullseye that you're looking ahead at right now. I want you to think about what you need to do from where you're standing right now. If I gave you a dart to shoot at that bullseye right now, show me where that dart would be in your hands. Which hand would that dart be in?
This one.
Yeah, okay. And then in order to hit this bullseye, you need to do what with that dart?
You have to throw it.
And are you just throwing it, or what are you doing?
You got to aim too.
You got to aim, you got to keep your eyes open, right? You got to feel the dart in your hands, and you got to take action to throw it at the bullseye. Am I correct in saying that?
Yep, you're correct.
Okay, cool.
I have quotes out there, like I have big quotes out there. I'm just waiting on landlords, right? Like people who own the property to get back.
I know you're pushing those quotes out there, but what I'm saying is, in a slump, you got to 10x it. Like we got to go in slumps. We go as hard as we can, right? Like there's nothing that's going to slow us down. When I say to my sales team, I'm like, you got to drive what's called critical drivers in order to hit the KPI on that bullseye. We got to try some shit. Like we've got to really go at this from an action perspective to try and get there, even though we're behind, because we're in a slump as well. Okay. We're in a slump, but I cannot hold back on the action. I've got to multiply and work harder during slumps so that we can come out of that slump. Matthias and I were talking about it right before we got on, Chad. And so in your slump right now, the only thing that's going to drive you out of it is by you going out there and closing deals, going out there and getting quotes out there and closing deals. If you're waiting on those big deals because you're waiting on a lot of processing and boards and these kind of things, you may want to consider going down towards a target where you don't have to wait for those long periods of time to get some cash flow going that will provide you with some interim bridge until those bigger deals close. Does that make sense?
Yep, no, that makes sense.
And whoever wants to chime in right now with Chad, just let's rock. I know that there's more hands up. David and Paul, did you have comments for Chad Keeping right now, or do you have independent things? Independent?
Both. I actually had something I wanted to say to Chad.
Do it.
Yeah, so I know whenever I'm in a slump, I feel like automatically I'm almost waiting for the next time I'm going to get inspired and feel motivated. But inspiration, you can't really wait for it. You got to actively seek for it. At least that's what I tell myself. So every day when I wake up, like even just doing roundtables and stuff like this, I'm searching for something that's just going to light the flame in me that dies out every now and then, which I think happens as humans. But you've got that flame inside you for sure. Sometimes it dies out. You just got to light it back up. So that's my 2
Thank you.
cents.
Thank you.
Super good advice right there, Dave. That's brilliant. That could be on a bumper sticker, man. You know. And by the way, you don't find inspiration unless you're generally searching for it. You have to hunt inspiration. You have to hunt that, right? Like to be inspired, you can be inspired through your own channels, but if you're sitting in a still state, it's hard to be inspired to go to that next level. It has to be it has to be stimulation that takes place for your mind to then think about something that is beyond what it was that you were thinking.
Chad,
Well,
I got.
go ahead.
Hey, so I think my biggest takeaway, as soon as you came on camera, right? You were lent over, you were looking and you're like, hey man, I'm in a slump. The Chad keeping that I know, right, is typically the one that's sharing pictures, the one that's out there. He's like, man, I'm getting it. I can't wait. And that attitude, like a slump. What is a slump? Right there. See that? See that audacious smile right there? That's what deals, right? That's the Chad keeping that I know. That's the Chad keeping you need to find again. That's going to go close deals, because this is how you win, brother. Like, I promise you, as soon as you get that slump, what's a slump? How long's it been? Who cares? You know what I mean? You're alive today, bro. You're alive today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a win. Get it out there and close deals. Get the slump out of your head and go close deals, bro. And I promise you, as soon as you get that one, exactly like David said, that flame's going to come back and that smile is just going to be a little bit easier. It's going to be a little bit easier to keep on your face. And all of a sudden, you're going to be like, I'm closing deals and I don't even know what to do with it. You got it, bro.
I like
Hey,
that.
hey, Chad, I'll throw something in there as well. This is Alex. A slump is basically what happens when you're just working the same deals over and over again. I mean, I've been in sales since I was, I don't know, it's like 25 years been in sales, right? You get like a good list of clients, or you think you got some whales on the line, but you keep going back to the same deals over and over again, waiting for those to close. I don't know if you've read the book, Fanatical Prospecting. I think it's a really good book, but in taking a look at the funnel, your sales funnel, you gotta have a good understanding of what your closing rate is. And say it's 20%, you need to fill that. You need to go out and find 5 deals for every 1 deal that's going to close.
Yeah.
And if you're just waiting on to close and not filling the funnel, and that's what a slump is. Like you gotta increase your funnel and get out there and just get excited about finding some new things to try and close. Because there's nothing that I don't think for me gets more exciting than meeting that new client and having them be like, doing a cold call. Oh my God, we're just about to do our parking lot. Thank you so much for calling. And then you get that like reinvigoration. Once you get reinvigorated, then that's like a feedback loop. You get excited, you make more calls, you get more yeses, and then you get more excited. And then as your energy level goes up, people hear that in your voice. They're not hearing desperation. They're not hearing like, hey, I'm in a slump, Chad. They're hearing like, I'm freaking crushing it, Chad. And they want to do business with you. But if you don't put yourself out there and fill the funnel and widen it up, you're just going to keep working the same old stale deals. And I don't know if that's your case, but that's how people get into slumps.
Well, it's kind of my case. Like I get stuck on that shit that doesn't come through. And like yesterday, I went and did 2 quotes, and it was in a different city. I've never been in the city, and it was in Simcoe, Ontario, and it was 2 residential. And I went there with a positive mindset, and I went, you know what? I'm going to knock these off. I'm going to get them. Well, I give the customer a price. He's got 2 houses he wants done, driveways he wants done. I give him a price. He got back to me later on yesterday evening. He goes, job yours. When can you start? And I said, next week. I'll start Monday. That brought me back up to where I need to be. I just got to keep pushing forward. Every time I get myself down, I got to just keep going and going. Like I just got to kick myself in the ass, really.
Are you
Yes,
doing mostly residential?
Residential, I'm trying to get into commercial, but
Go find a good HOA and go and find the board member of the HOA, and they're like big neighborhoods with, and then put out a posting through the HOA, and then, if there's 100 homes in the community, you can knock on 100 doors with one HOA member. Go find the president of the HOA, say, hey, I'm offering my services to your entire community, and then you just made 100 cold calls in one call.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Can I add to this too? There's something else that I found over time. If you're going for a close every time, you might be making a mistake and tripping yourself up because of it. If you look at it as filling the pipe or filling the funnel, whatever you want to say, it's the activity of going through how many no's do I got to get through to get my yes. So it's not only about, hey, is this guy, and then like, oh, it's another one. Oh, it's another one. You're just beating yourself over the back because of the no's. It comes down to the fact that if you don't go through the activity of creating creating that quote for your customer, whether it's going out, just getting the yes on the quote, it's a start. Filling that enough so that you just don't even care if you close it or not, because that's the point where your mind suddenly switches and your attitude switches to a positive, I don't care if you do or not. This is what I do. This is how well I do it. If you don't want it, that's fine with me. Because when you don't give two hoots, they're going to be like, oh man, this guy doesn't even care. I don't reek of desperation. I don't smell like this. Oh man, another one? Really? All right, sure, sounds good. You come off going, I don't care. Man, I got this stuff going on. I got 6 more places to be. I'll get back to you tomorrow. Does that sound good? Because that confidence and that energy changes everything for the customer's perspective. Hopefully that helps a bit.
So imagine this. Imagine if we were able to take a mental shift and we were going to say to ourselves, I get paid for every single pavement assessment or every proposal that I do. I get paid for every single one. Even when I lose it, I get paid. I still make money. And so what I ask you is this: if you look at your sales at the end of the year and you divide it by the total number of proposals that were delivered, that means you got paid for a price per proposal. Is that accurate or inaccurate?
Accurate.
Yeah. So our sales team, I say to them, right, like, you're going to make outbound calls. You're going to dial. At the end of the year, let's look at the total number of outbound calls that you did versus the money that you made and divide that by the total number of calls. And even when you make calls that don't even connect, you're getting paid. Let's just get paid. But in order to get paid at the highest level, we have to be willing to drive the action at the highest level as well. We have to. So Chad,
this may be getting a little personal, but I'm sitting here trying to understand, if the man just got 2 jobs, why are we waiting till Monday to do those jobs? If we don't have any work in front of us, why aren't we doing them tomorrow? I mean, when somebody gives you something, the thing is to get on it and get it done.
No, I understand that, but it's raining here, so. And the forecast has rain in it, like 70%, 80%. So that's why.
Okay, that explains it. But I'm sitting here wondering why we're not on it tomorrow.
No, I'd be out on it tomorrow. I'd be out there in a heartbeat doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd be gone. It's like, I guess really what I got accustomed to was I had a $5,000 week not too long ago, and that was nice, making $5,000 a week. Maybe that's where all this come from. I just
So Chad, I'm gonna just interrupt you quickly, and then we're gonna move on to a different topic, because I think that you've got some good direction here. But if you go into AK Dash and you look at your total proposals that you've got out right now, if you look at that, What I want you to do is look in the mirror and truly define whether or not you could double or triple that in the next 2 weeks or so. And because your season is going to be running out here, coming up into the end of October, November-ish with the pothole hunting and that kind of stuff. So you need to make sure that you are driving massive amounts of proposal action. If you have no jobs booked, there's no reason why you should be home. You should be out.
Yep.
Shaking hands, meeting people, doing the HOA thing like Alex said, and you should be pumping as many proposals that you possibly can out in that pipeline, buddy, and going for the close. Do those follow-ups. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Let's go. Next week on the roundtable, we want to hear about all those wins, those 2 driveways that you did that led to another 15. All right?
You'll get it.
Let's go.
Thank you.
We need pictures too.
You'll get them.
I love it. All right, cool. Let's keep rocking. Anything on here? Anybody have any? Come on, raise the hand up. Anyone? Let's go. Or just come on. Let's do it.
I got something.
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
So just to give a bit of context, I did the sales power stack with Judd probably about a month or so ago, and I'm just trying to transition from, you know, the driveway thing, doing residential jobs, and break into getting some commercial contracts and just establish that transition. So over the past week, we've just been working really hard. I wouldn't call it a win. I guess it's progress, but we've booked, I think, 40 assessments within 800 calls. So now we're just trying to keep up with the level of assessments. And I guess the only downside to that is, I don't know how many of those are going to close in terms of like, are they just getting assessments because it's a freebie, or I feel like some people are ghosting me after they get the proposal. I guess new levels, new problems, but definitely been a big win just to give out that many assessments and have that many things going in the pipeline. So, yeah.
Oh, so you actually did it.
Yeah, so just everything.
You actually, so the training you invested into, you're actually taking action with the training that was provided to you?
Yes, 100%.
Dude, first of all, respect, because the majority of people don't do it. Even though it works and it's proven to work and people are building multi-million-dollar companies, you're doing it. And so respect. And by the way, those assessments that you book are generally converting at about a 25% level to proposals.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that stat is completely wrong. Your pavement assessments are moving 50% to proposal. 25% of your proposals are going to convert to a deal. So how many assessments do you have booked?
We have just over 40.
40 assessments that are booked. So you imagine bringing those 20 to proposal, and then you're going to close 25% of those. So 5 deals are going to come out of that. How long did it take? How long did it take to do those 600 calls?
We did 800, but we're basically doing 100 a day.
100 a day. So about 8 days, more or less, to do that. A week and a half. A week and a half to get 5 deals out of it. And just to be clear, those 800 calls that got those assessments, those 800 calls aren't dead yet. Those 800 prospects is the list that you can keep reworking. You could have somebody just calling them back and booking assessments.
Yeah. So this is just.
And then the assessments that converted to proposals, there's still a 50% balance that didn't convert to proposals, but you're now in their door with that information. That's a value-driven give.
A quick feedback on the proposals. When you're providing those assessments to your customer, set up a booked time where you would deliver that virtually to them versus just having them ghost you after you've given them free stuff. Have it set up so you actually get a time, FaceTime with them on a camera and be like, hey, dude, I just wanted to show you exactly what we provided for you. Go through what it is that you'd be doing, and then get some feedback from you on any kind of worries you might have, any kind of thoughts, your budget, what that would look like for us next year. Is there any potential for us to provide you with a quote? But if you do that, book those times, say, hey, I'd like to nail down a time. Just sit there and nail it. You might have, it might have a better percentage of people that'll actually take it.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's good advice.
Hey, Judd, I'm going to follow up with that too. So never assume that your client is going to still use you, because I sent out proposals. We had about $120,000 worth of proposals to a client. They had about 12 properties, and I've done work for them in the past, and we thought we were golden. We thought we had the everything. A sales guy went in and met with them, walked their property. And I didn't walk all the properties with that client. And we thought we were on. The sales guy went in, walked the property, stole the bids out from under me. I actually sub for that client, so we're still seal coating. I'm still going to make my same dollar amount, but he's just added on his markup on top of it. So even just when you follow up with a client, just like Matthias says, meet with them, Skype, Facebook, or whatever, meeting with them, preferably go out to the property. So that's a lesson I learned just last week. So losing 120 grand in work would have been painful if I wasn't already a subcontractor for that sales guy. So
Good feedback.
Why it's so important. Like there's some stuff in here, guys. These stats right now, you guys should all take some notes right now. Look at this. This is some wild stuff. I'm going to give you guys some stats. Check this out. So imagine this. Here's a lead response stat. This is like also following up on your sales and these kind of things. I want everybody to engage into what it's like when you have a lead that comes in through your social media, a lead that comes in through your website, a lead that might come in on the phone, a lead that comes in via email. I want you to think about that, but also think about sales as the other side of this as well, right? The way that you follow up and communicate after you've delivered value to someone. And so I want you to think, number one, 5 minutes or less is always best to respond to a lead. So 5 minutes or less. 21 times less effective if you go past 5 minutes. 21 times less effective if you respond to a lead after 5 minutes. This is inbound lead. I want you guys to think about that. 5 minutes. 21 times less. All right, number two, 78% of customers buy from the first respondent. 78% of customers buy from the first respondent. Think about that. Raise your hand if you're the only company that does what you do with asphalt. I think we all have some competition. The way we operate our business might be different, but we're in the same industry, are we not? They're going to call other people, right? They go to Google and they're going to check stuff out, right? That's what we all do when we're searching for a supplier or someone that's going to be able to provide us with services, right? All right, cool. Number three, 391% better lead conversion rate when responding within 60 seconds.
I had a call today, couldn't get it. Within 12 seconds, I called back. He's like, wow, that was fast response.
Immediately.
$35,000 deal.
60 seconds. And guys, it doesn't need to always, human's best, but if it's not human, make sure that you have proper autoresponders that are more personalized and something that's giving them an experience. Make sure that your Facebook Messenger, any bots that you have that are responding automated. And these are just stats, guys. Like you can, or you don't need to do this, but I'm going to do it. 4, average B2B, listen to this stat. Average B2B lead response time, 42 hours. That's the average. And so if you are responding to leads that are coming in within 42 hours, which is almost 2 days, then you are the average. But if you want to really, really push the envelope and you want to generate a lot more business for you and you want to convert more deals, you have to be willing to do what it takes to get there, whatever it takes. And that's responding as quickly as you possibly can. So those stats are important. Now I want you to think about the sales side of things. And Paul, I'm coming. I know your hand's up, brother. I know you're in the middle of a job. I'm coming. The sales side of things, I want you to all think about follow-ups. What percentage, put it up on the board or type it in the chat. What percentage of people follow up more than 2 times after they've given a quote? What percentage? It's in the single digits, guys. You know, it's in the single digit stuff. Raise your hand if you think it's single digit, the people that actually follow up a couple times. And so the question I ask you guys, are you willing to do whatever it takes to close those deals? When I think about Chad and what he was speaking about, I think about this, right? Like the average number of times that you have to follow up with a client today in today's market is 14 times. 14 touch points in order to close a deal. Who here's following up 14 times? Got to. It doesn't mean that your touch point needs to be manual. You can automate stuff, right? It's like in AK- we have the workflows that are built with the King Boss that have the follow-up. It's automated. So these are the things that you guys need to really be thinking about right now. Paul, thank you for your patience. You're so awesome, buddy. And where's your big hat, man? We missed that, bro.
Well, a little hard to wear. We're out here working in the shop trying to get a trailer done. It's got to go out and do some night work. So trying to wrap it up, last odds and ends on it. I'm not trying to be pushy on my hand. It's just every time I walk over there, I can't hear anymore. So I want to take my hand down in case you called. But I was just going to talk about the follow-ups a little bit, you know, even earlier with Chad. But the just a kind of an example on that, I've got a property manager that we bid a property for back in late April. And I followed up with her every week since late April. And today we actually got the award on our proposal that we've put in late April. But it took me following up every week with her to get that. And I just wanted to make sure that guys like Chad, if I don't know how much commercial you're doing, but if you've got bids out there that you don't have answers on, keep sending them emails. Either they'll tell you no, yes, or stop emailing me. But I would just keep pushing on them until you get some sort of answer.
I love that you just went there, bro. Like that's such an important thing. So Matthias and Robert,
Yes, sir.
and Dylan, Unitan, Bob, you guys are all on here. If we're getting to the end of a call, Matthias, I'm going to roll with you right now, but I want you guys to think about this and pay close attention to this. It's a real important portion of making sure that you're putting something that's going to drive action by the end of your engagements with people. Matthias, are you down to do this with me?
Yeah, let's go.
You remember what it is, right?
And with a question.
Robert Wallace, you remember what it is?
I do.
This is a good one, guys. All right. So I really appreciate the information you've given me here today, Matthias. This is fantastic, and I'll get back to you.
Oh, fantastic. For sure. So you got everything you needed to today? Did I answer all your questions?
Yeah, you answered all my questions here today. Yep.
Fantastic. So before we move forward, is there anything else you have that you haven't picked up from today? Have you got any more questions before we move forward?
No, I would like to go and speak with my wife about it.
Fantastic. I do the exact same thing. I'm making a big purchase. My wife's always my go-to. So when you're talking to your wife, you're just looking at it from a perspective of making sure she's included in the decision, or is this something you have to ask her permission on?
No, I'm the decision maker on this side.
Super. Perfect. So what do you think any questions she might have for you would be?
She'd probably just want to know that there's a return on investment, that this makes sense to be putting the money in this place.
Super. Okay. Do you realize that there would be, obviously, we've discussed this already, you know there's a good return on this, right?
Yes, for sure.
Fantastic. Why don't we just go ahead then, and if she ends up changing your mind somehow, we can always turn the deal around. Would it be on Visa, American Express, or MasterCard?
No, I gotta really talk to her.
All right, cool.
So I'm gonna stop here, but this is such an important thing, because remember that what I said was, I'm gonna get back to you. Raise your hand if you've ever had someone ever in your life, when you put out a proposal, an estimate, have you ever had someone say, I'll get back to you? Raise your hand if you've heard that before. Everybody raises their hand. Raise your hand if you think that everyone on this screen, other than some people who practice this, raise your hand if you think that people deal with this differently when that is said.
Okay, see you later.
Can you imagine? Right? It's like, oh yeah, okay, you're gonna go think about it. All right, Well, what's the chance you just put in all that work to create a proposal, put all that time, all that energy into it, and you're going to let them go think about what? Of course, they need to go think about it. What kind of information do they need in order to solve the questions that they need to think about right now? Because you're on the phone with them, you're in front of them. You've got to ask these questions now. If you don't do that, well, shit, we're in trouble because they're gone. And the chance of you ever closing that deal is probably maybe 1%. Like, let's get down to the nitty gritty here and make sure that we truly understand what we need to do to move forward with this right now. Matthias, let me ask you a question right now. I really appreciate the time and opportunity to speak with you here today about our pavement asset management solutions. Have I answered every question that you have up until this point?
Yeah, I feel like we've covered everything that I had questions on. Yeah.
Excellent. Let's go ahead and move forward. Are you looking to pay via wire transfer, American Express? Discover what's best for you right now.
Well, to be honest with you, I have to move a bit of funds around. I would be open to doing it, say, Monday or Tuesday, if that works for you.
Monday or Tuesday, and this is relating to funds. So if you had the funds today, you would be willing to move forward right now?
Yeah, I don't see any issues with it. Yeah, it makes sense to me. Yeah, let's move forward. If you're cool with it, I'll just do it Monday.
Great stuff. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and get you to execute the agreement right now. We'll do $1,000 deposit at this time, and we'll go ahead and move forward and get it on the schedule as well. If there's any changes between now and the time that you actually are going to get the rest of the funds to be able to move forward, we can adjust the schedule there. Sound good?
Beauty. Let's go.
All right, cool. Now, I could have just left that situation, right? Like, I could have just left it and said, yeah, go think about it. But do you agree that we should dig deeper, team? Shouldn't we go in a little deeper and understand what questions somebody has? What are the pain points? Let's not beat around the bush, right? Dom and Skylar, why are you laughing so much? Are you either talking shit about me right now or you're having fun saying that we need to be asking these questions more?
We're never talking shit.
We love you, Judd.
Hey, Judd.
What's up, guys?
This is literally all day long. This is why we're working, why we're in meetings, why
It
we're
never ends.
Watch this one. You guys like this one? Watch this. You don't have the money right now to be, it's not in the budget to be able to move forward right now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I actually have to wait for a couple of the checks I have from 2 other projects to be able to do this.
Great stuff. And once you do have those checks in your hand, you wouldn't see any other reason why you wouldn't move forward with this, correct?
No, it's an essential part of what we need to do. So yeah, I'm cool with moving forward.
Great. Let's go ahead and take care of all the liability and safety risks that are on the lot right now. Let's go ahead and get that done. I'll write the PO up right now. You'll give me 50% of that emergency work so we can at least get the ball going, because I want nobody tripping and falling on your lot, because there are some tripping hazards. Let's go ahead and do that. I'll write up the agreement and you can sign here, here, and here. Is that good with you?
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, cool. Who here wants customers for life? Who here thinks that you have to be willing to mold yourself around making sure that we're solving the pain points of the individual that we're going to start to build that relationship with, so that they know, like, and trust us? Raise your hand if you agree with that. Yeah. All right, cool. It doesn't mean you guys have to go for the whole kit and caboodle. They might not have the finances to be able to do that, right? But you guys, you have a responsibility, and that responsibility is to build relationships for life for your business. Because remember, your business right now, just to be clear, your business is like a crying little baby. It's hungry. It needs attention. The baby doesn't eat too well unless it has a couple things. Baby's not happy unless it has lots of money to feed it, and that it has great culture in the organization. So where are you investing your time right now, right?
Can I add a real life example onto this? So I'm gonna literally read you some email exchanges between our team and a local car dealership. So basically, we did a cold call. We stopped in. We said, "Hey, we love to quote your parking lot. We noticed it's faded. Blah blah blah." And they're like, yeah, you can do pavement assessment," and this pavement assessment turned into a quote. And then he proceeds to say, "Hey, good afternoon. It just doesn't look like it's in the budget this year." It was like a $70-some thousand quote, massive dealership. And we're like, Yeah, I totally understand that budget, can be an issue, blah, blah, blah. And they have a few more email exchanges. And then it gets to the point of, they revised a few scopes. And then he says, hey, yeah, I received it. And he was like, hey, I just wanted to really, circle back again with the budget problem. He hammered down on the budget again. He's like, it's just not in the budget to do this year. And here is the email that was sent. Thank you for confirming that you received the updated quote. I understand budget can be tight. We're open to completing this in phases as discussed and on the budget fits you that you have or on the budget that you have available that will be helpful to maximize what can be completed in this phase. We should start by cleaning and filling those cracks. Those are equivalent to dental cavities. As time goes on, they will get larger and deeper. Water will penetrate underneath, affecting the structure of the parking lot. Replace the worn out signs and complete any seal coating or line striping of the lot of your choosing. If you're open to this, please let me know and I will adjust again accordingly to best fit your needs. And then now the owner steps in and says, hey, please meet on site this day or this day and, close the deal from
Tomorrow.
yeah, tomorrow, 1:00.
Let's go,
But
like-
two budget objections where he says, no, it's not happening. It's not even a possibility. Budget's tight. It's not going to happen. And just being able to proceed. So.
I'll tell you this, everyone, and on the sales power stacks, on the roundup events, on any of the training that we do, the coaching, this just comes down to practice. That's all it is. We're all the budget objection, financial objection, or timing, or whatever it is. It's business whatever it is. If we aren't sharp on handling all of those objections through tracks that have been proven and tested to convert deals at the highest level, then all we've done is not practiced. Like, I want you all to do an exercise right now for me. Does anybody have a pen and a pad of paper? Can you guys take a pen and pad of paper right now? Go ahead. For those of you that have it, do it. It's a really important one. I want you to write your name, like your first name. Write your name 3 times as fast as you can. And I'm gonna count down, okay? I'm gonna count down. And when you're done, you're gonna raise your hand. Goulash, you should be doing this as well, man. Let's go. You're gonna raise your hand when you're done. I haven't said go yet, so you guys, whoever, I want you to, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Either or, Julia, you can do cursive, you can print it, all right? So we're gonna do this. You're gonna raise your hand after you've done it 3 times. I know a lot of you have already done it. So 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, you guys are fast. Now I want you to put the pen in your left hand. Oh, this is scary. Or left hand or right hand. Your opposite hand from what you used, all right? Everybody scared a little bit right now? All right. You ready? Write it again. 3 times. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. I want you to look carefully at the way that the one that you're dominant, the way that looks. Look carefully at what you did. And then I want you to look at your unpracticed arm. I want you to look at your unpracticed arm and that scribbly crap that you put down on the paper. It's chicken scratch. It looks terrible.
It's like I was welding on a farm.
That is left-handed.
Yeah, it's bad.
That is right. It's terrible. But now raise your hand honestly. And by the way, Julia, it was fantastic. So raise your hand honestly if you believe that if we practice that for 1 week, that it would look a heck of a lot more close by the time we reach next week.
Heck of a lot better.
All right, a heck of a lot better. The challenge that we have is that we get so caught up in building and growing businesses, especially as owner-operators, that we forget to practice the thing that's going to make the baby really happy and plump. Sales, revenue. You got to drive the money. Of course, you need to understand your costs, and we can rabbit on that as well. But sales is such an important thing, and not enough of us as business owners, as owner operators, when we're first starting out as 1-person, 2-person, 3-person operations, we don't spend enough time or invest enough time practicing that. Does that make sense to everyone? Like, you guys have access, pretty much everyone on here, I'm sure. If you don't, you can ask, but like, or coaching clients and everything, like, you get access to the AK Vault, guys. Like, you have who to target, you've got objections in there, you've got some training stuff. It doesn't mean that it's everything that you're going to need to become a sales superstar, but shit, it's going to be something that's really going to help you to sharpen up and get better at what it is that you do. You know, David, you just said that there was 800 calls made and you had 40 pavement assessments booked. And then you just heard Skylar say that they went to go do this pavement assessment and converted it to a proposal. I mean, this isn't rocket science. It's just a matter of following the process and doing the things that are actually going to drive these results. Practice it. Go do that. You know, we're at the top of the hour here. Is there any other questions? I know, Zane, you had your hand up earlier. Do you have a question that you want to bring on? But
yeah, no. So this was back on the follow-ups topic. When it comes to follow-ups, I was just gonna say, I don't want to be one of those guys that's just following up and just, checking in to see what their thoughts were. I kind of want to have like a direct reason why I'm reaching out. So I just kind of wanted to get some ideas from people to see and kind of what people, when they're following back up with their clients, what their main goal is, and different follow-ups. So
Value. Provide some value. Hey, do you guys need any donuts today? Because I got some holes in here.
I have a question.
I know your coffee. You like 2 cream and 1 sugar. That's you. Whatever. There's a lot of stuff you can do.
Dom, you have your hand up. Go for it, Dom. Come off mute.
All right. So what's up, guys? So listen, at the end of the day, and I'm seeing it day in and day out, it's watching the sales team act comfortably. They're doing what's comfortable. And it's once we get in there and it's like, all right, guys, this is what you're doing today. You're going to get in front of 10 shot callers and you're going to hand out 10, written proposals to somebody, right? And what happens? More opportunity shows up. But it's crazy how I'm seeing, these guys they just stay in their comfort zone and and we're like, what's happening? Why is there no assessments coming in? And then we get in there, me and Skylar were like, all right, guys, it's like the Wolf of Wall Street. We got microphones out. We're like, all right, here we go. We're hanging a bell and we're like, all right, first guy to 10 wins. And what happens? Oh my God. All of a sudden people are close. It's like crazy. How crazy. People are cold calling. People are closing deals. It's unbelievable. But at the end of the day, my point is you guys got to run the play. You got to go out there. You got to do what's uncomfortable. You got to make the calls. You got to get in front of people and you do it over and over and over, and it will work. I promise you that. I promise. But I have a question for someone on here real quick.
Can I ask? Can we answer?
Yeah.
Let's answer Zane though. Let's answer Zane's question about the follow-up. Is that cool?
All right. So yeah, follow-ups. I mean, follow-ups will make or break your company at the end of the day. It's okay. I'm gonna follow up. Oh, he said no. Okay, no problem. And let me write a nice thank you message. No. The way I describe it to my guys is if you have a sponge, right, and it's full of water, and you squeeze that sponge, what you're doing with one follow-up is you're just taking a couple drops out of that sponge, right? What I need you to do is I need you to wring that sponge until there's no water left and it's completely dry. And when you're there, then you can tell me that you haven't, then you can tell me then it's not closing. But if you just squeeze it and a couple drops come out, guess what? You're not trying hard enough. Right. And that's the exact analogy I use day in and day out. And when I say, did you squeeze the sponge all the way? They look at me, they go, no. Right.
I love that. By the way, Dom will inspire you to squeeze that sponge so hard. Like you just give Dom a call, he'll say, squeeze that sponge, let's go. But Zane, I love that we're on this because I'll tell you this, everyone, like, this right here is one of the worst sales mistakes that you can ever make when you have proposals out and your pipeline's filled up and you're wondering why it's not converting as much as you'd like it to. The worst mistake you could ever make is calling someone up, Zane, and saying, hey, I'm just following up on that quote. Like, that is the number one worst mistake that you could ever make. If I catch any of you saying I'm following up on that estimate or that assessment, or I'm following up on a quote, I just want you guys to know that I am going to haunt you in the mirror when you're brushing your teeth. Like, I'm going to haunt you. And I want me to be that guy standing in that mirror saying, you remember that time I said don't follow up? Don't follow up. You don't want to follow up ever, Zane. You want to take an action, though, to communicate with that person to be able to identify where they are in their decision-making pattern to move forward. So how do you do that? Let's think creatively, and then we'll kind of cap this off in about 10 minutes. We'll go overtime. My family's back in Panama, so I'm alone in a hotel room, so I get to go overtime, everyone. All right,
Judd, can I
let's do it.
throw a tactic in?
Yeah.
So our first rule of thumb is if you're gonna follow up and you are gonna write an email or you're gonna pick up the phone, no, you got to get in front of the person. So you either got to go there and stand in front of them, right, and hand them a box of donuts or something, or you got to shoot them a video message. You have to get in front of them. That's number one rule. You're not gonna write an email. You're not gonna make a phone call. It's not gonna happen. Get your face in front of them. That's it. And that takes them right to the higher standard. It takes you out of comfort zone right into uncomfortable right away. That's it.
Go
That's all I
ahead.
got.
I'll throw something on top of that. I think a lot of times when we're quote unquote following up, make sure that you're talking to the person that is actually making the decision. Because if you're talking to like the front desk lady who asks for a bid, and you provide the bid to them, and they got to run into the owner of the business or a regional manager or somebody else higher up the food chain, if you're just continuing to follow up with somebody that really has no decision-making ability, you're going to get a stiff arm every single time. If you get more than like 2 no's on a follow-up, then you're going to be asking like, who's actually making, you want to know that initially, but if you're getting a stiff arm, it's probably because that person is not even capable of making that decision. Find the person that is. At least make that the purpose of your call when you're following up is, hey, I'm trying to find out who's the actual one pulling the trigger on this, who's holding the purse strings, and you gotta come away with that call with something, not just a no or I'm waiting on it, but some useful information to move the needle forward.
I love that. Hey, Zane, roll with me. Pretend you're like the property manager for a storage facility, all right? And you're answering the phone, but I've already got a proposal out to you, right?
Okay.
So
Yep.
Ring, 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 ring.
Hey, this is Zane.
Zane, you've got an awesome phone system, man. That mic is clear, buddy. That is awesome. Hey, it's Judd calling you. Hope you're doing amazing today. I'm reaching out to you because I sent through that proposal to you, and I just wanted to make sure you got all of the information that you need in order to make sure that we can move forward positively.
Yep. Actually, I just I saw that email come in last night and I got the information. Thank you for, being so quick to send that out. I just actually had a few questions on that proposal though.
Absolutely. What questions do you have?
So I have some budget concerns. I actually have a co-partner that I'm working with right now. And I got to talk to him about it a little bit. So I'm actually going to need some time to wait on that. Is that all right with you?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're in absolutely no rush at all. As a pavement management solutions company, we're committed to becoming your pavement management solutions provider for life. So this is not about just now. This is about for the long-term management of the pavement assets. So you don't have to worry about them as much, and that we can allocate the right budgets to it to keep it safe, long-lasting, and looking great. So what things does your partner have, and what can we do to make sure we're accommodating you? What would be ideal? How can we work together?
Well, obviously, the first step is to make sure that it's okay with him. It's kind of, we're both in on this deal, so it's not like a decision that I'm going to make myself. So, I got to get a hold of him. He might have to, run that through with his wife or something. You never know. So
Sounds
it might
like
be
a busy time over there on decision makers. So are they the decision maker, or are you the decision maker?
him and I are both a decision maker. Yeah.
But the wife, though, come on, the wife's usually going to be the one deciding,
Yeah.
right? What do you think
Right.
that your partner is going to say, and what do you think the wife is going to say? What are they going to ask? Or what do they want to see?
I think my partner's for sure gonna first want to make sure that like we're dealing with a reputable company that's gonna, deliver the value that we expect. We want to make sure things are gonna be getting done right, and that we're not just dealing with some people that don't really know what they're doing or aren't gonna do the job that we expect high quality around here, and it's not, you know what I mean? Nothing like sloppy or anything. We want to make sure it's at least off our concrete and stuff. So.
Do you see how you just set me up to win though on that? So let me understand this, Zane. Right now, you just said everything that you're looking for. And if I was able to provide that as a pavement management solutions company, and I was able to meet your expectations in that regard, would you see any reason why you wouldn't move forward with me?
No. Actually, I don't see any reason why. No.
Great. Well, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get over all of these stuff relating to our credibility, our Google reviews, and I'll go ahead and give you our website, and you can look at the different testimonials that we have there as well, just to make sure you have the references needed to make sure that you like, and trust me, because that's what I'm looking to do for life with you. If I can provide you with all of that over the next, say, 48 hours, could we go ahead and get a meeting booked up with your partner and yourself at your place? And would 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. better be next Thursday? Let's see.
10 a.m. would be better, but actually there was one last thing I wanted to bring up is like,
sure.
For us, like obviously, we're on a budget. We're trying to, prolong our payment, but save money. But at the same time, like that's a concern for us. Can you work with us at all on the price, or anything we can do about the price with you guys?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're all about making sure that we're meeting your budget. That's a very important thing, not just now, but again, for the lifespan of your pavement assets. Even when you go to replace it, we're going to be that company that will provide you with the solution on being able to do a mill and pave or a complete new installation. We'll be that company for you. So what kind of budget are you working with right now?
We're working with about 30,000 yearly with our property. So, right now we're at about 10,000 in, and this project's a little bit over 25. So we're pushing over that budget this year. Any solutions for that?
Oh, we can absolutely work with that $30,000 budget and make sure that we're doing the very best we can with the budget that you have. Our goal is to get you a quality delivery on what it is that you're applying the money to, investing the money into, and then we'll go from there in different phases. We can actually lay out a 10-year budget plan for you so that you have a clear understanding of where you need to put your money. Would that give you some better optics and understanding for the future so that you're not stuck in these reactive situations that kind of get a little chaotic for you?
Yeah, no, wow. 100%. Cool. That sounds phenomenal.
And if I could do all of that, you don't think that your partner and his wife would have any reason why they wouldn't move forward with us, right?
No, I don't see any reason why not.
Great. So let's go ahead and get that meeting booked up. Can you send a calendar invite, or I'll send a calendar invite over to you and your partner and his wife as well. Do you have their email addresses handy so I can add them right now?
Yep. It's susanx@gmail. Yep. And
fantastic.
Henry.
Great. And your cell number, just to confirm, because I'm going to send you a text as well with the meeting invite. So I'm going to send that over to you. Is your cell number this number?
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
You need your partner's number as well?
Yeah. Yep. Here it is.
Oh, thanks so much. I really appreciate you. That was easy. All right, great, fantastic. Well, we'll go ahead and get this all set up. And would there be any reason why do you think that we wouldn't be able to meet next Thursday? What would be a reason that might interfere with that?
Looking at my calendar, everything's open right now. I don't see any reason why that wouldn't work. Obviously, if anything were to come up, I'd be sure to let you know ahead of time. But yeah, it's looking good for me right now. As long as you show up on time, it'll work for me.
I'll be early for sure, but I'll also be following up throughout the next period to make sure that we have the appointment confirmed. I'm looking forward to doing business with you. You've made a fantastic decision today. Really looking forward to doing this with you for the forward.
Awesome. Really appreciate it.
So that instigated, if you noticed, let's reverse it. And that was a long, I should have cut it early, but here's the thing at the beginning, right? All right, ring, ring, ring.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, ring, ring, ring. And then answer is this, George.
This is Zane. Yep.
Hey, Zane, it's Judd calling from Asphalt Kingdom over here. I'm just following up on the proposal that I sent through to you. Are you looking to move forward with that? Yeah,
actually, I haven't even had a chance to take a look at it yet.
Do you see the difference of what I did there? Do you see the follow-up? The follow-up sucks. The difference is such a minimal thing. I'm just confirming that you received the proposal. And I'm wondering if you have any questions at all pertaining to what I sent through to you. That's very different than saying I'm following up on what I sent you. Very, very different. I'm confirming that you got it. And by the way, in AK dash, I know that you got it because it stamps it in AK dash, letting you know that somebody opened it. So I'm able to actually know that that person opened it, which is kind of a sneak peek. But like, that's what you should try. Anybody have any other tactics on how you would reach out? Person's great. By the way, Dom, if you can get in front of people in person, there's nothing better than that for sure. But if you have, let's say, 70 proposals out in your pipeline and you're rocking, you might not have the ability to get in front. You have to use tactics in different ways. And the video messages, couldn't agree more, bro. Like text messages. I will send a video message, by the way, to Zane and his partner that I just got at their cell numbers for. And I'm going to send them a video message in about an hour. Really appreciate the opportunity to work with you. This is going to be great. Looking forward to meeting in person here next week. Like take the action. Everybody on side, does this make sense, everyone?
Oh yeah, 100%. Let's go.
Now let's practice. Let's go practice, right? Let's get out there and do it. Mark Aller, what's up, man?
Oh, I was just gonna say one time at a car dealership, I was selling this guy a car, and he said, "Okay, I've got to go. I want the car, and I got to go call my wife." And I said, "Okay, you call your wife, and I'll go over here to this other booth, and I'll call my wife." He goes, "Well, what are you going to call your wife?" "Well, you got to ask her if you could buy it. I got to ask my wife if I could sell it." See, we had a good enough rapport, and he actually did buy the car. Anyway, it just depends, how well you know the customer.
I think that's so much fun to have. I mean, that's who doesn't like to have fun, right? Have some fun. I love that. It's great.
We're all human beings, right? In the end of it.
Hey, Judd, I got to close out a quick shortcut. So everybody that has a cell phone, who uses shortcuts in your cell phone? So if you're not familiar with it, YouTube it, whatever. But I have a shortcut. So whenever I get a phone call, just a random call, hey, I need a price for a seal coat or whatever, I type, as soon as I hang up, I type SSS for Southern Utah Seal Coat, and it types up translates it to a paragraph that says, "Thanks for calling Southern Utah Seal Coat. Please send me your name, your address, what you're looking for." And I do that in 2 seconds. So the person calls, and in 2 seconds, I'm asking them for their information. And I usually close just by having that quick shortcut. So if you don't know anything about shortcuts, look it up. I create several different shortcuts for calls, for follow-up. So I'm not actually following up saying, hey, I'm following up on this. I send a shortcut text that says, hey, I just sent you an estimate. Take a look at it. And I've already seen it on my software. I see that they've opened it, but I still send them that. And so those are my touch points, because more and more people are prefer that touch point to be a text. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Great golden nugget. Hope everybody wrote some of that down. Cool. Guys, I'm out of here. I hope everybody got some great values tonight. I certainly did. I had a blast tonight. This is great. Everybody get some good value? Yeah?
100%.
Cool.
Yes, absolutely.
Always great to be here with all of you. I love that. Billy Evans. Oh yeah. Building relationships. Absolutely, Mr. Wallace. Closer framework. Clarify, label, overview, self-vacation, explain the way the concerns reinforce the decision, right? Closer framework. For those of you that don't know about that yet, you will one day for sure. Ask our team. We will share it with you. Closer framework. Cool. Well, I'm excited for everyone to go out this week, practice some of the things that you've learned here today, hopefully, and you will be able to go and sharpen your spirit. Let's make it happen. And by the way, it's closing time, everyone. You know what closing time means, right? Closing time means that it's time to close deals. It's that part of the year. Don't be afraid to ask for the close. Have a great time. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place, right here on the AK Roundtable, guys. Adios.
Thanks, buddy.
Let's go.
Thank you.